Hey everyone, and welcome. We're going to be talking all about FastAPI. If you're looking to get a handle on the modern Python framework that is, frankly, powering a ton of new high-performance applications, then you have come to the right place.
All right, let's just dive right in. Before we get into all the nitty-gritty technical details, let's talk about who this is really for and what it actually lets you do. So first question, are you a Python developer? If you're nodding your head right now, then this is for you 100%. This whole explainer is really built for Python folks who are ready to pick up a cutting-edge backend framework. And do you have some big ideas? Maybe you want to build some seriously high-performance APIs, or create really scalable systems, or even build a backend for some complex AI applications. Well, if that's the goal, then yeah, you're definitely in the right place. Okay, so we've talked about what it can do, but what is this thing we keep talking about? Let's get a really simple, clear definition of FastAPI. At its heart, it's actually pretty simple. FastAPI is a modern, super high-performance Python web framework, and it was designed with one main purpose: to build APIs. That's its specialty. You gotta understand, FastAPI was built with three main goals in mind. First, it had to be incredibly high performance. We're talking speeds you'd normally see with languages like Go. Second, it had to enable fast development so you can write clean code and do it quickly. And third, it's all about making your life as a developer easier. It's that combination that's so powerful. So how does it pull all of this off? Well, it's not magic. It's actually really clever. It taps into some of the newest and coolest features in the Python language itself, like using type hints to write more solid bug-free code and using async programming to handle a ton of things at once. That's the secret sauce to its speed. And because of this unique approach, FastAPI has just exploded in popularity. I mean, it's become one of the most loved frameworks out there. So let's break down the exact reasons why so many developers are flocking to it. Let's walk through some of the features that are absolute game changers, the things that make working with FastAPI such a pleasure. And we'll start with that incredible performance. Okay, first up, performance. And this is a huge deal. For the longest time, Python wasn't really in the same conversation as Go or Node.js when it came to pure speed. Well, FastAPI completely changes that. It puts Python right up there with the heavyweights. Next up is a feature that is an absolute lifesaver for developers. FastAPI automatically creates interactive API documentation for you. You just go to your /docs URL in the browser, and boom, there's this beautiful interactive page where you can even test your API right then and there. FastAPI also really has your back when it comes to data. It uses this amazing library called Pydantic to automatically check and validate any data that comes into your API. What that means for you is way fewer errors and much more reliable apps, all without writing a bunch of boring validation code yourself. And hey, remember we talked about that crazy speed? Well, a huge part of that comes from its built-in support for asynchronous code. By just using these simple async and await keywords, your API can juggle tons of requests at the same time without breaking a sweat, which makes it lightning fast. So, you put all these awesome features together, and what can you actually build? Well, the answer is pretty much anything. From your standard REST APIs to the backend for your new web or mobile app, from complex microservices to the really demanding stuff like APIs for AI and machine learning. Okay, so you might be thinking, Python already has Django and Flask. Where does FastAPI fit in? That's a great question. Let's put it side by side with the other big players to see what makes it unique. This table really clears things up. Think of Django as the all-in-one toolkit for building entire websites, batteries included. Flask is your go-to for something simple and lightweight. But FastAPI? It has a very specific, very powerful mission. It's perfectly tuned for building modern, high-performance APIs. That's its sweet spot. All right, so now you get the what and the why. You understand what FastAPI is and why it's so popular. So the next logical question is, how do I actually learn this? Let's quickly look at what that journey looks like. A good learning path really takes you through 4 key stages. You start with the absolute basics, move to the core ideas, then tackle advanced stuff, and finally get to a production-ready level. It's all about building a really solid foundation step by step. So you'd start right at the beginning. I'm talking about getting it installed, creating your very first Hello World API, and then getting comfortable with how to handle data coming in and going out of your API. Just the fundamentals. And from there, you'd level up to the skills you really need for real-world projects. Things like securing your APIs, connecting to databases, getting your app ready for deployment with tools like Docker, and even doing cool stuff like integrating AI models. And the best part about all this? The bar to get started is actually really low. You don't need to be a Python expert. If you have a basic understanding of the language and you know what an API is in general, you are ready to jump in. So, after all of that, what's the big takeaway here? If there's just one thing you remember from all this, it should be this. If you are serious about being a modern backend developer, or you want to build those scalable AI-powered applications, FastAPI is not just a nice-to-have skill anymore. It's a must-learn. It's really become the right tool for the job today. Look, at the end of the day, this is about way more than just learning another framework. It's about empowering yourself. It's about starting an amazing journey to build the next generation of powerful, fast, and reliable applications using